Here we go. I am going to demonstrate right now what you will need to do to essentially get the Sun Temple demo into the MOOS template. I chose this one because it required some preparation, but it kind of required less than some others. It's simple, but yeah, it still helps you to identify the steps that are necessary. So let me show you what I did. I've already downloaded the demo uh, from the marketplace, but let me show you where I get it from and the process. So I'm going to go to marketplace, and hopefully this is not going to take forever. Sun, spell correctly, Sun Temple. Hopefully, yep, nope, wrong one. Don't want the one you pay money for. There's a free one. There's a free one. Don't panic. Sun Temple. Okay, so this one, the Sun Temple from Epic Games, it's free. You can own it. Let me show you what I did. I basically came here to the marketplace. I said create project. I basically put it in G colon someplace. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But you basically specify the folder you want it in, the version you want. In this case, it's got to be 4.27. For the previous installations of MOOS, I had selected 4.26 as I built up our Granddad. And it'll give you an idea of what it looks like when it's there. And you would hit create. And it will put that project, by the way, into that folder on there, and it will also add it to your projects in your library. So let me now, assuming that I did G colon because I put it on my G drive, and I basically set it under demo load or something like that. I'll show you in a second. I'm just going to say don't create because I'm going to go to my library. Remember I said if you create it, you can get it into your project library. So I'm going to come down here a little bit. This is what happens when you get a billion projects. It takes a while to find stuff. So this filtering saves your life. It just does. So the one I just did for 4.27, you'll see that I threw it into G colon demo load with a directory. And you'll see where it put the project. And it will let me launch the project from here. So I'm going to launch the project from here. And it is launching in the window right now. It doesn't take too long because I've already loaded it once. So some preparation has already been done. And I may have to move it over real quick to my recording window. But again, this is a default template out of the box, usable in Unreal Engine. And it should be coming up here in just a minute. And I gotta move it over. Just give me a second to make it visible to you all. I'm gonna make it full screen so you can see it. All right, just for the sake of argument, so you know why the MDL thing keeps showing up and everything Ori gives you, I use something called NVIDIA's Omniverse. It was a pain to set up, but it gives me lots of features. Not really something we're using for MOOS. So what I'm doing before I do anything special with any of this, like even my templates, because this MDL directory won't hurt you, is I'm basically just going into plugins. And in case you see this happen, I'm going to go over here to Omni. I'm going to disable this, and I'm just going to do a quick restart. And while the MDL directory is still there, it will flag a few warnings in the compile process. Doesn't take a lot of time. Eventually, I will eliminate this. I just got to go from clean machine. I don't want to disable Omniverse for my other projects. That's why this is still happening. But I don't want it for, obviously, for MOOS projects. So this is my happy compromise. And this will basically take care of this for you. So that essentially they're just there. If you get something from me. if you create a project from scratch, you probably won't get an MDL directory because you're not running Omniverse. So, but we're going to purposely not, be copying this MDL directory and all that stuff because we're not using it right now. So let me give you a tour. Again, this is part 1, and you'll see that the way this is, there's no avatar. Well, there is. Basically, it's a collision capsule to make sure it doesn't walk through walls and over the boundaries and all that kind of stuff. I don't even think it has a jump or anything like that. And essentially, you see we're walking around this really pretty level. I like this because it works really well. It does have an example of a God Ray blueprint in here, which you can see is functioning, doing its thing. And it's pretty nice. You see the effect there. It looks really nice, right? So I'm going to stop this with escape because this is the way this game mode works. And again, if you were to look at this player, this player start, it's essentially nothing but a collision capsule to keep the camera from going to the wall. So that's what this level looks like. What do we do to get this into the template? Because you probably noticed, oh, gee, that's not like structured anything like what I need for a template, right? Yeah, you'd be right. Because we need content, maps, your name, like Ori Maps, and the name of the map. And you probably can see, well, we're not going to do anything with this. These are all kind of in the wrong order. One, the Sun Temple map is its own folder here, but needs these blueprints and uses first person character, which we'll be replacing, by the way. And assets. This is where its blueprints are for the God Ray, the materials for all of this beautiful stuff, the meshes for all this beautiful stuff, and the textures that are underlying all of the assets in this item. So the question is, how do we prepare this map? One, we make sure it works. Make sure you can walk around it. Make sure everything is good. I've done that. Part 1 completed. Part 2 coming next. We will actually prepare this map to be moved into a default template that I have created and get it set up so that I can now start with these assets and start with this map. And that will come in part 2 coming up next.